and our new staff members. The board just returned from a tour of all the facilities. We got a status report on everything that's going on in the district. It's very exciting. There's a lot of exciting new spaces out there for our students, so we are very much looking forward to the opening of school next week, which will be according to schedule. Everything will be fine and open and ready to go. Without further ado, we'll go to the report of the superintendent.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's hard to believe that in just 155 hours, our classrooms and hallways will once again come alive with the sights and sounds of teaching and learning, and I, for one, can't wait. I want to start my brief report tonight by thanking the many staff members who have been and will continue to be working incredibly hard this year in particular in order to get the school year off to a great start for our students. To those here and to those listening, thank you for all of your incredible efforts. Incidentally, I've had several colleagues from outside of our school district stop and remark to me, and always in a very disbelieving tone, who launches a new middle school schedule complete with new courses and full-day kindergarten in the same year while also renovating a substantial portion of one school and spaces in 3 others while breaking ground for additions to 2 others, all the while continuing to tend to our new fields, tennis complex, and outdoor basketball courts, and expanding parking and traffic flow around another. Who does that? My response each time is, we do. This is what it means to innovate, to elevate, and hold a commitment to excellence. It's been an exhausting and exhilarating summer for our team, a summer during which it has truly been the thoughts of the positive impact all of these changes will have upon our students that has sustained us throughout. To everyone in this room or those who may be listening who contributed to our work, whether directly or through patience and encouragement, I'm talking to you, our parents, I want to say thank you again. With great feedback that the board provided in relation to our emerging goals for the 1920 school year, the administrative team met recently to consider that feedback, other data, and insights gained through observation, experience, and the perspectives of new team members who recently joined our administrative team. We took time to look at the district with a 30,000-foot view and considered the extent to which each of these potential goals met with the following criteria, as we always want our goals to 1, support our district mission, 2, align with our Innovate to Elevate approach, and 3, address an identified need. Our work also focused on making sure we had goals that would be relevant to each of the schools and that could be made professionally relevant to staff as well, so that, as I have said before, we are all pulling in the same direction, or that all of our gears are working together to bring about the change we envision. Our team have expressed each of these goals by creating what is known as a logic model for them. A logic model is a graphic depiction or a roadmap that represents the shared relationships among the resources we have, activities, outputs, outcomes, and the impact we hope to make through each goal. I shared an example up with the board at our retreat meeting back in 2 weeks ago. After a great deal of dialogue with the board and the administration, and after reflection on these discussions and my own assessment of our needs as a district, I am recommending 4 goals that I believe are critical for moving our district forward at this time. They are, 1, under the topic of social and emotional learning, that we create a common understanding of the skills, habits, and mindsets of social and emotional learning and develop a shared systemic approach to integrating these into school and classroom practices through the adoption of an evidence-based character education and anti-bullying program. And this really, this goal sort of merges 2 different interests. We were very interested this year in building the capacity of our staff around social and emotional learning, and it also drives from a place of wanting to examine character education, writ very large, and anti-bullying efforts, all under one umbrella of one goal. And so there's several deliverables that will result from this goal. One being our staff, 70% who say they have not had training in social and emotional learning, having that training this year, and ending this year by adopting an anti-bullying program and a character education program. So it's a really important goal for moving us forward. The second goal that I'm recommending is around homework. If you come to our board meetings, you've heard the topic of homework. I'm actually getting some interesting looks from some parents in the audience at this moment. We've had a lot of discussions around homework, and in order to really bring that topic forward and get all of the great minds in this community working on it, we want to review district homework practices and policy, and through a study of current research, define best practices for the role of homework within the instructional program and revise district policies as applicable. Continuation of a goal that we started this past year is around growth data and really facilitating the development of a growth mindset. And so the goal is to expand the collection of student growth data and the application of that data to increasing student achievement across content areas. And finally, because we've got another year ahead of us of some intensive work, we want to drive the successful implementation of the Holmdel 2020 initiative by completing 2019-2020 projects in a timely and cost-efficient manner. So we're really excited to start working with our staff on these when they return on Tuesday, as we annually weave these goals into administrator goals, school goals, and staff members' professional development plans, as well as having them become standing agenda items for meetings throughout the year. So I want to sort of divert from my report tonight to introduce some people who are with us in the room, if I may, Madam President. Today was our second day of new staff orientation under the direction of Dr. Seeley and our administrative team. Our new teachers and new staff have been going through a couple days, and they'll have one more day tomorrow, of really getting acclimated to the district in all sorts of ways. And I want to introduce a few of the new staff members who were willing to, after a very long day of training, to come and join us this evening. And I'm going to introduce them. I'll just ask them to stand and be recognized. Dr. Adam Berger is joining us in the high school math department. Adam has a PhD in statistics and operations research from Princeton University, as well as a BA in applied math and management, also from Yale University, I believe. Is that right? Yep. And when asked what does Innovate to Elevate mean to him, he wrote that using new technologies and creative teaching methods to help students achieve as much as possible. So we want to welcome Adam Berger to our... Jacqueline Cameron. Jacqueline is joining us as a learning disabilities teacher consultant at Indian Hill School this year. She has a BA in early childhood and an MA in teacher of students with disabilities from Kane University. And when asked to say what does Innovate to Elevate mean to her, she said being creative in finding ways to make gains. So we welcome you, Jacqueline, to our Dr. James DeVivo. So Jim DeVivo is joining us as a theater teacher here at SATS and the high school, our very first full-time theater teacher, I believe. I'm looking to Mr. Lochran as our historian. He is our very first full-time theater teacher. Jim has a PhD from NYU, that's New York University, in educational theater, and a BFA and BFA in theater and English, and an MA in educational theater, also from NYU. When asked the same question about Innovate to Elevate, what it means to him, he says, when we innovate, we engage in the process of reflection, revision, and redirection, which are the heart of the learning process, and also part of the artistic process, I would imagine, too. So we welcome Jim DeVivo. A familiar face to some, Melissa Gleep, is joining us as a kindergarten teacher in our very first year of full-day kindergarten. She's a familiar face because for the last several years she has been a part of our kindergarten wraparound program. And so we're happy that she's joining us as a full-time teacher of kindergarten. She has a BA in Family Child Studies from Montclair State University. And Innovate to Elevate means to her many things. It means applying the best practices to elevate the level of learning for each student. It means thinking outside the box to make lessons a meaningful part of each student's educational experience. And she says that by innovating to elevate, we can ensure our students are learning in an environment that is supportive yet challenging and encourages them to apply what they learn during these lessons to experiences both inside and outside the classroom. Some really great goals for a teacher of kindergarten. We welcome you, Melissa. Shannon O'Hara. Shannon is joining us as a dance teacher at Holmdel High School and Sats Middle School. The board just had a chance to take a look at what will become a new dance and theater room here at Sats School once renovations are done. Shannon has a master's degree from Temple University in dance and a Bachelor of Arts degree from Old Dominion University, also in dance education. She says that Innovate to Elevate means approaching education through the eyes of a student. And the board spent some time a couple weeks ago really looking at students' experience in our school district, so it's exciting to have you point that out to us. She says that giving each student the chance to explore their interests and passions in a way that builds confident, curious, and successful learners and human beings. Welcome. Another familiar face to some, Robert Petricola, is joining us as a technology educator. The board actually just came from a tour of what will be his real estate when it's finished, the engineering wing at the high school. He's a familiar face to some of you because he was a teacher here in Holmdel and left us for another opportunity and another career, and we're excited to have him back, and we worked hard to get him back, and so we're really excited about him joining. He has a BA in architecture and an MA in infrastructure planning from the New Jersey Institute of Technology, and he says that Innovate to Elevate exemplifies the need to consistently question and rethink what will allow the Holmdel community to succeed now and in the future. This self-reflection will spur new ideas and further prepare students in their next steps. And he's going to have a great space and opportunity to do that as he joins us this year. So welcome, Robert. Marissa Scarpita, also maybe a familiar face to some. Marissa is joining us this year as a kindergarten teacher in our full-day kindergarten program. She has a BA in psychology from Marist College and is currently working on a master's degree at Monmouth University, I believe, right?
I finished it.
Oh, she finished it. I finished. She's a familiar face to some because for the past couple of years she has been working here as a kindergarten wraparound instructor. So we're excited to have her join us. To her as a teacher, Innovate to Elevate means reflecting on her current practices and looking for new ways to further enhance the learning experiences of her students. This could be done through creating more hands-on activities, exploratory learning opportunities, and chances for students to collaborate and work together. And believe me, a full-day kindergarten program is going to allow her to do that. So welcome to you, Marissa. And Jessica Zeza. There she is. Jessica Zeza is joining us as an English teacher at the high school. She has an MA in education from Monmouth University. And so we're hoping she's joining us soon. She's currently teaching somewhere else, but we're fingers crossed that she'll be able to start with us ASAP. She loves the idea that she can be a tool to guide a child to challenge themselves and to seek out new ideas. She wants students to always want more and to always see their own successes. If we are to innovate to elevate, she says, it is equally important that we, as teachers, apply that same mantra to how we live our own lives. Could not be truer. We welcome Jessica Zeza to... Did I miss anybody? Fantastic. So welcome everyone. And finally, on behalf of the administration, we wish all a happy and fulfilling start to the new school year. And I just have one other item, which is to share with everyone the final report of student safety data for period 2, which is January to June of 2019, as has been shared with you previously. So, and basically what I'm sharing with the board is a composite of HIB issues and other student matters that occurred throughout the period of time from January to June of this year. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a break to introduce ourselves to all of our new staff. Take a moment, just a few minutes, like a 5-minute break. There is dessert, there is snacks. So please take some, and we'll get back to the meeting in 5 minutes, okay?